Hello, how is everyone doing? It is your fallen angel back with another video. Today, we're going over the world is all sexy. Desires, passion, lust. These are all tools that can either be used against you or you can use it in your favor. But before we begin, feel free to like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's begin. So, passion reigns supreme in all parts of the world. The minds of people are filled with sexual thoughts. The world is all sexy. The whole world is under a tremendous sexual intoxication. All are deluded and move in the world with perverted intellects. No thought of God, no talk of God. It is all fashion, restaurants, hotels, dinners, dances, races, and cinema. Their life ends in eating, drinking, and procreating. That is all. What we see is we are all becoming slaves of the physical plane. What can we do to appease the physical plane? What can we do to instant gratify the physical plane? The senses that we could see, instead of seeing that there's something deeper beyond the astral plane, beyond this physical plane. The sacred precepts and the teachings of our ancient sages and rishis have been totally ignored. What a lamentable state. They will accept anything as true only if a Johnson or a Russell bring something by way of the theory of evolution, motion, atom, relativity, or transcendentalism. Shameful indeed. Their brains are clogged with foreign particles. They do not have the brain to absorb anything good in others. Young men of the present day indiscriminately imitate the West, and this results in their own ruin. Men are swayed by lust. They lose their sense of righteousness, and of time and place. They never discriminate between right or wrong. They lose all sense of shame. Read the history of the crimes, robbery, rapes, kidnapping, assaults, murders that come up for trial before the sessions courts. Lust is at the root of all of this. It may be lust for money, or lust for carnal pleasure, lust for ruins life, luster, strength, vitality, memory, wealth, fame, holiness, peace, wisdom, and devotion. Man, with his boasted intellect, has to learn lessons from birds and animals. Even animals have more self-control than men. It is only the so-called man who has degraded himself much by indulgence. At the heat of sexual excitement, he repeats the same ignoble act again and again. He has not a bit of self-control. He is an absolute slave to passion. He is a puppet in the hands of passion. Like rabbits, he procreates and brings forth countless children to swell up the numbers of beggars in this world. Lions, elephants, bulls, and other powerful animals have better self-control than men. Lions cohabit only once a year. After conception, the female animals will never allow the male animals to approach them till the young ones are weaned and they themselves become healthy and strong. So like in this society, there's a concept or a term coined, we hump like bunnies or we fuck like rabbits. This term is to say that humans are just endlessly humping each other, right? This term to endlessly hump each other and create all these children, these bastard children that are brought up, shows that men have zero self-control. It shows that the women also have zero self-control over their lust as well, right? This amalgamation process is a beautiful process. This bringing of life is a beautiful process. We see that many animals in the animal kingdom have more self-control than man itself, right? Even lions wait till they're young, are strong and healthy again, before they even think about mating again. It is only man who uses this strong limbic system, their reptile brain, to fuel their lust, their endless need for this nerve tingling, right? And this creates so many children that are fatherless, motherless, without love. it creates this society of degeneracy because people are incapable of controlling their lust. This is why at the beginning of the video we said passion, lust, and desire can be your biggest tool in this life, or it can be a weapon used against you. Man only violates the laws of nature and consequently suffers from innumerable diseases. He has degenerated to a lower level, far lower than that of animals in this respect. As a king is no king without a treasury, subjects and an army, as a flower is no flower without fragrance, as a river is no river without water, so also a man is no man without true brahmacharya, ahara, nidra, bhaya, and mahatuna. Food, sleep, fear, and copulation are common to both animals and men. But using our neocortex, this ability for discernment, is what differentiates us and animals. Our rational thought and our ability to do things because we can think it through is what differentiates us from animals, right? The animals have a very, very thin neocortex compared to ours. Their limbic system and reptile brain are definitely indeed there. But when it comes to a neocortex like us, they cannot compare. This is if we use this neocortex. More than likely, the limbic system and the reptile brain overpower the neocortex for many people because ego and emotions and simply reproduction and survival are more means for this lifetime than anything beyond the physical plane. That which differentiates a man from an animal is dharma. Viveka and vichara sakti, jnana and vichara can be secured only by the preservation of virya or sperm. If a man has not got these qualifications, he should really be only reckoned as a veritable animal only. So, if you do not have your animalistic desires in control, you cannot use your rational thought, the neocortex that you were blessed with, this supercomputer of a brain you have. You are nothing more than just an animal, a putrid, weak animal. If lust, which is the source of all enjoyment in this world, ceases, then all worldly bondage, which has its substratum in the mind, will cease. Even the most virulent poisons is no poison when compared to lust. The former defiles one body only, whereas the latter adulterated many bodies in successive births. You are a slave of passions and desires, emotions and attractions. Now, while it is okay to have these desires, these passions, attractions, because without these passions, desires, attractions, and ego, we wouldn't have a means to love or a means to continue or a means to feel right and wrong. We would be simply robotic if we only had a neocortex. But the point of the matter is we must be able to do this correction. We must be able to differentiate. We must show how humanly intelligent we are and how spiritually intertwined we are as well. When are you going to rise up from this miserable state? Those persons who, in spite of the knowledge of the non-existence of happiness both in the past and the present, in the baneful objects of the world, do you yet entangle themselves in them, with their thoughts clinging to them, deserve the appellation of an ass, or the name of an ass, if not a worse one? If you do not possess viveka, if you do not try your best for salvation, if you spend your lifetime in eating, drinking, and sleeping, you are a horizontal being only, having to learn some lessons from those animals which possess far more self-restraint than man itself. Now, viveka is just discrimination. Viveka is discrimination between the real and the unreal, between the self and the non-self. This using of the left hemisphere brain to discriminate passionately is how we understand the neocortex as well. The sexual degradation that has overtaken mankind today is due directly to the fact that people have assumed that there is a natural sexual instinct in human beings. It is not so. The natural instinct is the procreative one. If men and women restrict sexual indulgence to procreation, then that itself is observance of brahmacharya. As this is found to be impossible in the vast majority of cases, total abstinence is enjoyed on those who seek the higher values of life. So we explained this, guys, in previous videos, that if you seek higher attainment within this cosmos, in the astral plane, the Buddhic plane, the Atmic plane, abstinence is important, whether we do this in the Kabbalah to learn about ourselves, or whether we do this in brahmacharya to learn about ourselves. We understand that the Kabbalistic light and the Hinduistic light are similar. As far as the sadhaka of burning, mumukshuktava, is concerned, celibacy is a sine qua non, as he cannot afford to waste his vital energy at all. We understand that this virya, this energy, is so powerful, it could bring a child from the ether into a woman's womb, right? This is magic in its essence. Bringing human life is like magic. We have to understand how vital this energy is. The gratification of every worldly desire is sinful. The flesh should be the abject slave of the spirit intent upon divine things. Man was created for a life of spiritual communion with God, but he yielded to the seductions of evil demons who availed themselves of the sensuous side of his nature to draw him away from the contemplation of the divine and lead him to the earthly life. Now, when you only think and feel in the physical plane, you only see what you can see in this earthly life. You don't see what is going on in the astral plane. You don't see the dimensions above. We only see light apparatus through the 3 dimensions. We understand that we are inside of 12 dimensions total. Moral goodness, therefore, consists in renouncing all sensuous pleasures, in separating from the world through discrimination and dispassion, in living solely after the spirit, in imitating the perfection and purity of God. Sensuality is inconsistent with wisdom and holiness. The great business of life is to avoid impurity. Now, this is not to say that everyone has to become some sort of saint and everyone can be perfect. This is not the ideology. The ideology is to attain and to try to reach salvation, because your neocortex has the ability for you to choose from right or wrong. You purposely choosing wrong shows that you aren't using your viveka, your ability for discrimination, your ability to choose right from wrong. You must use your neocortex to your advantage and understand that this is a spiritual journey, right? Everything in this cosmos is like a Fibonacci loop. You will see things, see people, see experiences over and over until you finally learn from them. So guys, this was a video explaining passions, lusts, and desires in a much more depth on our Brahmacharya playlist. Feel free to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. I'd love to read them. Also check us out on Patreon, Rumble, Twitter, Instagram, things of that nature. This has been your Fallen Angel, and I am out.